That is Donald Trump right now. He has spent years calling the United Nations useless, and now he's trying to build an alternative. He calls it the Board of Peace.
Do you want your Board of Peace to replace the UN?
Well, it might. I mean, the UN just hasn't been very helpful. I'm a big fan of the UN potential, but it has never lived up to its potential. The UN should have settled every one of the wars that I settled. I never went to them. I never even thought to go to them. They should be able to settle those wars. They don't. I believe you got to let the UN continue because the potential is so great.
So what is this Board of Peace about? The original idea was to oversee the rebuilding of Gaza, or so we thought, but then the world saw the fine print and they figured that this was not just about Gaza. It was not just about one region. This Board of Peace was about global conflicts everywhere in the world, basically wherever Trump decides the board should look. And here's the first big twist. This board has a chairman. Guess who? Donald J. Trump. Already you can see where this is going. On paper, it sounds noble. Stability, lawful governance, enduring peace, the kind of words you'd expect in an international charter. But then you see the power structure. Trump chairs the board. Trump controls it. He gets exclusive authority to create new bodies, to change them, and to scrap them if he does not like. What about replacing him? Well, that can only happen if he resigns or he becomes incapacitated. So this is less like the UN General Assembly and more like Trump's War and Peace room. And here's where the board game analogy really kicks in. If you want a seat at the table, you have to be invited by the US president. Your membership technically lasts for 3 years, unless, of course, you choose to pay. If you pay more than $1 billion in cash, you get lifetime membership. That's right. It's peace, but make it premium. Although the White House says the money is voluntary, they've invited about 50 leaders to join. And guess what? 35 have already said yes. Tells you a lot about our world, doesn't it? Anyway, the guest list is eclectic. You have America's close allies, or whatever is left of them. You have strongmen. You have democracies and autocracies, all in the same room. Israel, the UAE, Bahrain, Belarus, and Hungary are among those who have said yes. Russia and Ukraine have both been invited. So what if they're fighting a war? They can join Trump's Board of Peace. If you buy oil from Putin, Trump will sanction you, but he himself will invite Putin to his club. Hypocrisy does not even cover it anymore. India too has been invited to join, so has Pakistan. Some countries have refused to join, like Norway and France.
In response to President Macron saying he will not join the Board of Peace?
Oh, did he say that? Well,
Yeah.
Nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costa, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months.
Apparently, that's how peace works now. And then there's China. China got the invite too, but they say they're committed to the current world order, aka the UN-led global system.
We have no intention of competing with any country for influence. We always believe that regardless of how the international situation may change, it is in the common interest of all countries in the international community to uphold the international system with the United Nations at its core, the international order based on international law, and the basic norms of international relations based on the purposes and principles of the UN Charter.
And that brings us to the biggest question in this story. Is this board meant to replace the United Nations? Officially, no. Politically, maybe. I say this because this is essentially a parallel system, a smaller club with handpicked members, no veto complications, no General Assembly speeches that nobody listens to anyway. Just Trump, a table, and a bunch of countries willing to play by his rules. This is classic Trump, victim syndrome and all. He's always believed that multilateral institutions are stacked against him. So he wants to build a new system. Will it work? Well, that depends on how long it can sustain Trump's interest, how seriously the world takes it, and what it delivers in a crisis. The UAE's president accepts Donald Trump's invite to join his Board of Peace. The move comes amid tensions between America's top Arab allies, the UAE and Saudi Arabia. Originally, the Board of Peace was meant to oversee reconstruction in Gaza, but its charter does not limit its role to the Gaza Strip, appearing to want to rival the United Nations. The United Nations, as we've always said, is deeply flawed, but it still has something that this board does not: universality. Also, peace is not a board game. You can't just redesign when you don't like the rules. So will this new game end in diplomacy, or will it flip the table entirely? We can only wait and watch.